All right, how to tone up and how to finally look like you go to the gym masterclass. This video is for you. If you go to the gym, 3 to 6 times a week, you try to eat clean, you're watching what you eat, you're tracking your food, or you follow what you think is the right thing, but you're really not sure. You want to look toned and strong, and you want your clothes to fit better. You want to feel confident in your skin, and you want to love your training again. This video is for you if you're doing all these things, but you still look in the mirror and you're wondering, why don't I look like I go to the gym? You're stuck. You're not feeling toned. You're not feeling strong. You're not feeling defined. You don't see that shape that you envision for yourself. You just feel stuck, frustrated, and you don't know why. You feel like you're doing everything and you're not seeing results. If that's you, I'm going to break it down for you in this video to keep it super clear, no fluff, just real, actionable stuff that you can actually apply today. So first, a little bit about me. Go. Who's the girl talking to you on the other side of the screen? So, hi, I'm Sammy. I've been in the fitness industry pretty much my whole life. I was a gymnastics and aerobics coach, transitioned into being a PT and group fitness instructor, physiotherapist, and now physiotherapist, nutritionist, and an online coach, as well as a yoga teacher. So, jack of all trades over here. And not only do I have years of experience, I'm also on my own fitness journey. I am a competitive bodybuilder, even if I don't look like it just yet. I'm growing. But yeah, so I'm on my own journey. I'm in the trenches here with you. And as you can see, my journey has not always been fabulous. I have been overtraining, I have underate, I have been restrictive, I've spent hours in the gym, I had no structure, I followed, bro splits. I have done everything under the sun to try and build muscle and just nothing was working because my plan wasn't right. I went into that skinny fat phase. I was not growing muscle. I was not seeing the changes. I was just like a brick. It just was not good, not fun, not comfortable. So I have learnt the tricks of the trade. I have learned how to properly get good results out of your training program, how to fuel your body right to achieve the results that you want, all with balance and keeping it simple. The key is keeping it simple. And so I'm going to tell you all about that right now. Let's talk about you first, though. So you go to the gym, you're lifting weights, or you're a bit of a cardio bunny, but you dabble in a bit of the weights area and you're like, I want to get a little bit more into it. Or you do go to the gym and you're super consistent, but you're just not seeing the results. You eat high protein, or at least you're trying to. You're a bit aware of what you should be doing with your nutrition, but you're still like, oh, I don't know, I'm a bit unsure. And you might be trying to eat clean, but then you feel guilty when you don't eat clean, and you're just a bit like, oh, I don't know. You're pretty consistent, but you feel like shit when you fall off the bandwagon. You want to look toned, you want to look strong, you want your clothes to fit better, you want to feel confident in your skin, you want to love your training and see consistent progress, and you just want to be more confident in life and in yourself. But you still don't feel strong, you still don't feel toned, you still don't feel defined, you're stuck, you're frustrated, and you don't know why, and you feel like you're doing everything and you're not seeing results. And honestly, it sucks. I get it. I was there too. And you're probably wondering, what am I missing? And chances are it's not your effort, it's just the strategy. I'm going to break it down. So here's where you may be going wrong. And these things are super common, but they are exactly what keeps you stuck. So you probably, or maybe, are overtraining. More is not always better. So we build and get stronger when we recover, not in the gym. So we need to make sure we are giving our bodies adequate fuel and recovery time to rebuild and regrow so we can come back and push harder in our next session. Junk volume. You may be spending hours in the gym doing 100 variations of kickbacks, 100 variations of hip thrusts, 100 variations of RDLs. That ain't going to grow your glutes because you're just smashing the hip muscle in the exact same way over and over and over again, and it's not going to have anything to adapt and progress with. There's no progression. It's just junk volume. It's wasting your time and wasting your energy and wasting your potential. If you're jumping into the gym and just training how you feel, or you're bouncing between, you save some IG or TikTok workouts and you're like, I'm just going to do this one today. I feel like this, I'll do this. And without having a structure to actually ensure you're progressively overloading and constantly pushing your body and having a structured program to hit all the muscles to create this beautiful shape that you really want, or maybe your plan just sucks. Any of those things could be happening for you as well. And it's more common than you think. Are you under eating? Maybe you're not fueling your body right. It doesn't necessarily mean what your calories are. It's more about what are the foods that you're having? What are the proteins? What are the carbs? What are the fats? Do you have that right balance that's fueling your body for what you want to do? Not what everyone else says to do, what you want to do. And are you, because you're under eating, because you're under fueling, are you trying to be too perfect all week long and then you blow out on the weekends? Or you're just going through these binge and restrict cycles. You starve yourself all day long and then you just can't stop at night. Basically, you don't have balance and you don't have structure to your nutrition. And yes, I do think chocolate should be a daily staple in a food group. So everything should be in moderation. And do you get confused? Like social media is the Wild West, and you get told you got to do this, you got to do that, don't do that, do this if you want snatched waist, do this if you want big glutes, do this if you want to. Like it gets fucking confusing out there. I get it. And so my mission is to make it simple and realistic and something that you can actually stick with long term. We want to develop discipline and then have balance within that discipline and keep it simple. Keep it simple. So I got the solution for you. Here it is. So, first, we need to start with assessing where you're at. That's the first thing. We need to look at your current training, your nutrition, your routine. Are you in a place that we need to build? Do we need to go through a diet phase? We assess where you're at. I'm going to break these down in more detail, but we want to train with intention. We need to make sure we're fueling properly. We need to adjust and problem solve along the way and develop discipline within the balance. I'm going to break this down. This is exactly the same process I use with all my amazing clients who are getting fantastic results without overcomplicating it. So, step one, we need to assess where you're at. So, like I said, we need to start looking at you, your current training, your nutrition, and your routine. Are you in a place to build? Do we need to jump straight into a fat loss phase? Do we need to go through a prepping phase first? So, for example, are your calories already super duper low and we can't drop them any lower and you want to drop some body fat? Then maybe we need to go through a reverse diet phase. Are your calories pretty high and you want to just tone up, like you don't have a stack of body fat to lose, you're not in a big rush with it? Maybe we'll do a bit more of a recomp phase. If you're like this, but you are like, no, I really want to just drop like 5 kilos, just get that done and dusted, and then focus on the building phase, maybe we do a mini cut to kind of accelerate the fat loss phase, and then we go through a build after that. Or maybe you're already in a pretty lean position and you're just ready to build. So we will push those calories up nice and slowly so we don't add stacks of body fat. We want to keep it as lean as possible, but maybe we go straight into a building phase. So as you can see, there's no one straight answer. It depends on you, and the plan needs to be unique to you, not what your favorite influencer tells you to do. It's what you need to do based on what a professional recommends. There's a lot of nuances with this one. There's no perfect answer. Step two, we want to train with intention. So let's build a structured training program that focuses on progressive overload and no fluff, just the right movements done well to the right intensity to actually build strength and muscle. And that suits your schedule so you can actually be consistent. There's no point in having a program to do 5 or 6 days a week where you can only get there 3 days a week and then you feel like shit because you haven't been able to go all days. It's like instead, just do 3 days a week and be consistent and feel amazing for it. So you could do, I recommend 3, 4, or 5 day training split. I actually don't really recommend 6 days. I think you need 2 rest days in the week. If you're training hard enough, you need 2 rest days. If you don't need it, you're not training hard enough. So you could do upper, lower, full body, or you could do full body, depending on how you're going to structure your training program and how it splits throughout the week. You could go upper, lower, upper, lower. I've broken it down here for you. You can see the different options here, and there's no hard or fast rule. If you really want to prioritize growing your lower body, maybe you do lower, upper, lower, like that. If you really want to prioritize growing your upper body, then maybe you do 3 upper, 2 lower. So you can bias the amount of volume based on what body parts you want to focus on growing as well. Then I'm going to break this down super duper simple for you with a training program. There's bajillions of different exercises out there. Keep it simple, stick to the ones that work. When you're choosing your upper body day, I would go horizontal push or a vertical push, horizontal pull or a vertical pull, depending on how many days per week you're training. If it's 3, you might need to do one of each. If it's 5, you definitely can pick one, and then on the other session, do the other and the other. So you could go horizontal push and pull one day, vertical push and pull on the other day. Then we add accessories like lateral raises, biceps, triceps, rear delts, things like that. Lower body day, simple. We want a squat, a lunge, a hip thrust or a hinge, and an abduction movement. Done, dusted, leg day, beautiful. If you don't have time for that much, you could do a squat or a lunge in one session and then do the other in the other session. You could do a thrust or a hinge and then do the alternative in the other session. So you don't have to do every single one of these, but you want to be trying to alternate between them over the 2 sessions. And then abs 2 to 3 times a week. We want like a crunch variation where you're bringing your upper body down towards your lower body, a leg lift variation where you're bringing your hips up towards your ribs in in the other direction, and then a plank where you're kind of holding. Bit of stability work to get you started. 6 to 10 reps, 2 to 4 sets, 90 seconds to 2 minutes to 3 minutes even if you need it. Rest. Super simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Then I can go into further details. If you're doing upper body and you're doing a neutral pull down, then in the next program, you might do a head grip pull down. There's other ways that you can add variety to add structure and to get that more 3D effect to your muscles based on how all the different lines of pulls and angles that we can do. But that's taking it to another level that you don't actually need to go to straight away. Just start with the simple stuff, make it a well structured training program that hits all the muscles at least 2 times a week and in the different lines of pull and the different angles, just like I've got broken down here. Then we focus on progressive overload. So, slowly increasing the rep scheme, start at 6 reps, build up to 10 reps. When you can do 10 reps for all the sets at that weight, go heavier. And you want to be working within 1 to 3 reps of failure, meaning that if I was there screaming in your ear, you could probably do 1 to 3 reps more. Otherwise, you would just absolutely fail the movement technically or fail the movement physically. Technical is like, if you're doing a bicep curl and you have to start throwing it up. Technical failure, done, dusted, stop. And physical failure would be if you're doing a shoulder press and you're like, oh shit, and you just can't get it up and it falls back down. That would be physical failure. So we want to try and work within 1 to 3 reps of failure. We call that reps in reserve. When you can do that at that 10 rep range, go heavier. Stop fucking around. Go heavier. It only has to be 1 kilo. Or 2 kilos. You don't have to increase by a huge amount every single time. But that is how we incorporate progressive overload. But before you increase the weight, please make sure you're actually moving through the full range of motion with beautiful technique and you're in control of the weight and the weight is not in control of you. If you aren't, then don't go heavier. Then you do need to go lighter. So that's training with intention. Okay, the next one, fueling properly. We want to make sure you're eating enough to either support fat loss or build muscle. And we do that in a way that works for you, for your real life. No restriction, no obsession, no cutting out your favorite foods, smart strategies, and easy swaps. Basically, we have what we want and we add what we need. And that does include having your veggies. I will force you to do so otherwise. So how do we do that? Alright, so first we need to understand what your maintenance calories are. I have a calculator on my website that you can use. Again, calculators are not perfect. It's just going to give you an estimated range that you could start at. And the same as when you determine your maintenance calories. It's all an estimation because it also doesn't factor in you're a unique person. Your metabolism is unique. Your daily activity levels are unique. Your body fat percentage and your muscle mass is unique. Your digestion's unique. So this number is like hey, here's a starting range, but let's work it out. So then track your food for a week to see where you're at. And you can see what you're currently naturally eating and how your body's responding. If your body starts going up, like over 1, 2, 3 weeks, then and your goal is for fat loss, then you know you're eating too many calories. If your body weight's going down and your goal is fat loss, then you can be pretty sure that you are in a calorie deficit. So you want to look at your photos, your body weight, your calories tracked, and how your training's going and how your energy is and get an idea of where you're at and what you need to do to adjust it. So we adjust our calories based on your goals, plus or minus 100 to 250 at a time for building or for cutting. But if your calories are already super low, then first we need to reverse diet you up to maintenance, spend some time in maintenance to prep your body, to prep your metabolism for a dieting phase. And then we monitor and we adjust as needed. Breaking it down into your macros, protein, this is our recommendation here, 2.2 to 2.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. If you're quite lean, if you've got a very high body fat percentage, use lean mass or ideal weight as opposed to your actual weight. Like if you're a 120 kilo person, don't use that weight to determine your protein because that's just like, whoa, use your ideal weight. Fats to carb ratio doesn't really matter. Fill those calories out with fats to carbs in whatever ratio you like, but I do recommend not going below 40 to 50 grams of fats per day for your general health, and then just fill the rest of the calories up with carbohydrates, and especially eat them before you train. Um, Carbohydrates are what you use when you're training in the gym. So it makes sense to eat carbohydrates before and after the gym to fuel and to refuel afterwards. Just like you got to drive a car, you got to fill yourself up in order to perform. Note, just so you know, if you're going to do the math, 4 calories per 1 gram of protein and carbs, and there's 9 calories per 1 gram of fat to help you break that down as well. So that is how you fuel your body properly. We want carbohydrates around our training window, especially before we train. Do not train without having some sort of carbohydrates and a little bit of protein in your system. Okay, adjustments and problem solving. Step 4. So if you're going to do this with me, you won't be alone. You get the coaching, the tweaks, the check ins, the guidance to navigate life because results don't come from being perfect. They come from learning how to keep going even when things get messy. And I'm a strong advocate for when there's a will, where there's a will, there is a way that we can overcome this. So we want to find it a way to be consistent. Consistency always wins out over perfection every single time. So we will reflect each week. What went well? What didn't go so well? What can I adjust for next week? How will I do that? What do I need to adjust? How can I set myself up for success? And what was out of my control? And I just got to let that shit go. Lots of things that we can adjust, and whether we adjust calories, steps, whether we just problem solve, whether we just, you know, keep calm, carry on. There's so many different things that we could do depending on how each and every single week is going. So reflecting back on what went well that week and what didn't go well and problem solving it, like look, put some glasses on like a scientist and go, what went on, what can I do? That's going to be much more beneficial than getting emotional over whether the scale goes up or down. Because if you just look just at the scale, you're going to forever get in this little loop of just like stress and despair and binge and eat, restrict and feeling like shit. And it's just not worth it. So when you reflect on all the elements, all the different factors, and be a little bit more objective about it, or just get a coach to help you be objective about it, then that's how you're going to stay consistent and be able to make adjustments that are actually going to get you results and not make you feel like shit. All right, next, discipline with balance. So, first, we need to build habits that make you feel good, not restrictive, so that this journey becomes a lifestyle and not just a chore. So, I want you to become confident in yourself and your journey and the choices that you make. So, we need to know when to say no, when to say yes, when to honor your goals, and stay integral to yourself. And sometimes that means you're going to say no to going out for drinks because you just don't want to do that because it's just going against what your goals are right now. And other times it's going, you know what, I am going to go out for drinks because I honor friendship and I want to see my girlfriends and I have not seen them in a long time and I just cannot bloody wait to spend time with them. Yeah, it's going to push my calories over because I'm in a dieting phase, but you know what? One night out's not going to ruin it and I'm going to have the best bloody time. And that's staying integral to yourself as well because you value personal connection. But you need to know when that's okay to say yes and when it's okay to say no and be like, you know what? I'm not drinking, but I'm coming because I'm trying to lose some body fat and I really want to stick with it and feel confident in my choice. And you roll with it too. So when you have that discipline and integrity to yourself and your goals, you don't need to rely on motivation. You can be more flexible and have that balance, and you feel confident and good in having that balance because you are integral to yourself, and it's that flexibility that suits you. And you find the routine that works for your lifestyle. Yes, you might need to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, but It shouldn't be so much that it's unsustainable. Instead, we'll do little step by little step, little push, little push, little push, and then suddenly you're all the way up the hill and you haven't even realized because you've been going so incrementally that it's been super achievable. And this is exactly what I do with my ladies in the Project Live Strong family. The game plan is always unique to you. And many of these ladies were also already doing the fitness thing, but they felt stuck. They felt frustrated. They were putting in the effort. They weren't getting the results and they didn't know what to do. Now they're feeling confident, they're building muscle, they're leaning out, they actually looking like they go to the gym, without obsessing, without burning out, without not just going on holidays and chilling out or having the occasional meals out or having their daily chocolate. It's about flexibility and balance. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about a couple of my clients as well, just so you can understand their story and hopefully these will resonate with you as well. So you might have the idea of, but I already know what to do. I already am going to the gym. I don't need help. And sometimes it's just those small redirections, changes to the plan, a little bit of extra support, a little bit of extra, like, you're doing the right thing. Let's do this. Keep doing that. A bit of reassurance and a bit of confidence that the plan that you're on is actually designed for success. Like, even I have a coach because I want to level up and push myself further. So even if you already know what you're doing, but you're not seeing results, I'd argue something's not going right. And so it might be time to ask for help and put your hand up and just take that on board. And you will learn more and you'll always become a better person for it. This is an example of my client Megan, who was going to the gym super duper consistently, but her diet and her training program just wasn't right for what she wanted. So, first, we went through a dieting phase where we dropped down, but also focused on building muscle at the same time. As you can see in the photos, at the end of the cut, we did a reverse diet to bring her back up into a building phase. You can see we maintained her level of conditioning fabulously as we did that. And this is a front version of it as well. So, from the front, you can see we've filled out our muscles really nicely. And these are a bit older photos. You should see it now. She looks fucking insane. So yeah, you might also be going, but Sammy, I have injuries or pains. I just can't train hard. Well, one, I'm a physio, so that's fine. I can help you rehab them, just like I've done with these ladies here. Elise came to me because she wanted to tone up and build muscle and feel confident in her body again and feel confident in her nutrition and have a more balanced approach with her nutrition as well. But she also had a hip and shoulder injury. So, first, we rehabbed her shoulder and her hip, and then we progressed her to doing more conventional training while still rehabbing her shoulder and hip in the background as she went through a dieting phase, a reverse diet phase, and now into a maintenance and a lean building phase. And so this photo here is her into her lean building phase. And you can see she's looking toned, she's looking tight. You can see the differences in her legs, and she's training pain free. And even if she has little flare ups, we manage it straight away. So no injuries are not gonna hold you back. Reggie over here, she before she came to me, she had an ankle fracture. She had surgery. She has pins and plates in her ankle, in that front ankle there still. But she wanted to get back on stage in the high heels and go through prep, and she's fucking nailed it. At this show here that you can see, she came third in novice and sixth in the open overall, which is absolutely bloody fantastic. And so she made it back to the stage. She's been building muscle and she's been smashing the cardio and she's been smashing her steps and smashing her training, all with her ankle rehabilitated. So if you have an injury and you're like, oh my God, I can't come back from it, you totally can. And she looks absolutely phenomenal. But I'm too busy. That's another common one. All right. Well, my client here, Dion, is a FIFO worker. So I have several FIFO workers and several shift workers and nurses and so many other busy ladies that we just find a routine that works for them. Not everyone is going to train 5 days a week in the gym and meal prep perfectly every single day and do, 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week and just have that conventional plan. It doesn't work for everyone. Some people are training 3 days a week. Some people are just getting their steps in throughout the day wherever they can. Some people are using ready made meals. Some people are meal prepping. It's so dependent on what's going to work for your time, what your time available is. And Dion does not use time as an excuse. She, as you can see here in her current progress, she's absolutely fucking slayed it and is about 18 to 20 kilos down in this photos here. And now we're progressing and focusing on building muscle even more. And she's going to hit the stage. Like, she's gonna compete on a bodybuilding stage eventually. That is her goal, and she's gonna have the time to do it because she makes the time, because it's important to her, and then we also make the plan work for her schedule as well. We've got Karen here who has gone through a massive weight loss journey. She was stuck on really low calories and she lost a phenomenal amount of weight before coming to see me, but she was stuck. She was stuck on really low calories. So we've been reverse dieting her. We've gone from under 1,500 calories up to over 2,100 calories. And this is the difference in the photos. By adding all that food, she's looking toned, she's building muscle, and she's feeling absolutely phenomenal for doing it. We'll go into a dieting phase shortly, but you can see the amazing progress. So sometimes you don't need to eat less, you actually need to eat. Do you love food? Well, don't you worry because I believe in flexible dieting. Having mostly whole foods, sprinkling the fun foods, as you know, sprinkling your Biscoff, having your bread and chippies and burgers and homemade pizzas, or even the store bought pizzas, having chocolate every single day. I believe in eating good food. Do not eat boring food in order to achieve results. And here's just like a little bit about like what it's like working with me because I've definitely been asked before, like, what makes you different? You're just like, everyone does training, nutrition, and accountability. But here's a little bit about what's different from my clients. I don't want to be like, this is what I do. Here's a little bit just about me. I would say like a lot of support, a lot of um, accountability, and a lot of like making the plan work for you is probably the best thing that we can do. And education. I really believe in really teaching you so that I'm the last coach you will ever need because you understand your nutrition, you understand your training, you understand how to achieve the results and maintain the results for life. But you can just stay with me forever. That's what I always say. Stay with me forever. But I also teach you how to do it so you don't need me eventually. But this is just a little bit about like some of the things that my beautiful clients have said, which I fucking love reading all of this. Um, Anyways, enough about me. What's next? So, if any of this has resonated with you, if you're nodding your head thinking, that's me, then I would love to help. First of all, I hope this video has at least been helpful for you to understand what you may be doing wrong and what you need to do to like make the changes to finally get results. And if you're like, I'm not really ready for coaching yet, Sammy, like this is cool, but whatever, then just come back to the messages and message me and I will send you a free resource. I'll send you another free resource to help get you started based on whatever your goal is at the moment. We can just have a conversation and I can see what's going on. But if you are ready to take that next step and to get that help, get that accountability, get that support, finally feel toned and strong and confident and have a plan that works for you, and also just have me by your side to make sure that you're on the right path and it's going to be okay, then message me back on Instagram. I'm ready. That's my little Instagram handle there. And we'll have a quick chat, see where you're at, and see if I am the right fit for you. No pressure, just clarity. And like I said, worst case, I'll just send you another free resource. It's all good. I have lots more to go. Um, so yeah, but let's stop spinning your wheels and actually get your results that feel good, look good, and last for life. You deserve to feel proud of the work that you're putting in. I know I sure as heck am since I've been changing my whole fitness routine over the last 10 years. I know that I'm like so happy and the confidence and strongest I've ever been in my whole life and just getting better and better every single week. And it's your turn to be the same. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and come back to the chat and I will send you a free resource as well and we can have a chat and go from there. Have an amazing rest of your day.